Number 1. espas AI concept. After the remarkable success of Next Level, aespa has recently broken their own history, with new achievements through the promotion of Savage. The thing is, while it's hard to deny how everything about this comeback was terrific and perfectly polished, many people still found some members nothing but big thorns in the eye. So who was it that netizens got so annoyed about? Karina, Winter, Ningning, or Giselle? Well, none of them was the answer, because the useless members that everyone was asking SM Entertainment to get rid of were the AIs. And talking more generally, the whole AI concept that the company threw on the group. Ever since the pre-debut of the group, netizens have already been disappointed and to some extent annoyed by the concept, where each member would have their own avatar and altogether interact in another virtual world. After several promotions of the group, I think it's not hard for you to see countless complaints pointing at the quality of these AIs. Not only that, since most of the group had spent years on training from dawn to midnight, some also found it annoying to see their efforts being overshadowed by the creepy AI versions that do nothing. Basically, netizens feared that the AI concept would just be a pointless enhancement no one asked for, and it eventually held the group down from getting further in the hyper-competitive race of K-pop Gen 4. The reason why people said the AI concept made no sense came down to how the AI of all members had the build quality of some 3D characters of the old animation eras that look way too 2000s. And their clothes didn't even get to be changed, though aespa has gone through 4 promotions. The wave of criticism pointing at the quality of the AIs started to be fiercer after the group came back with Next Level, as, according to netizens, SM had failed them hard by giving zero care to improve the low graphic quality of the AIs. Some also compared the virtual members to some dancing characters in karaoke rooms. And for others, these AI members were nothing but ugly and useless, since they literally just popped into the MV for several seconds like a glitch, then made some stiff moves and eventually disappeared into thin air. Then the disappointment towards these avatars peaked when a netizen on the coup posted a GIF cut from the MV of Savage and complained how the AIs downgraded the vibe of aespa from the most invested group of SM to a random 90s act. In the comment section, many people also expressed disappointment as to how these avatars' movements were just as disjointed as the Black Mamba's era, how the whole thing still seemed like a halfway copy of KDA, how the SM's try-hard efforts to stand out was wasting aespa's talents, and how it's high time for these irrelevant AI members to leave for good. Of course, there were also some netizens who found this concept and the AI members interesting, as well as willing to wait for more improvements down the road. But looking at the big picture, people still believe the company was just using the AI concept to hype up the debut of aespa, instead of having any long-term plan, as they now seem to be struggling to find a place for these AI members in the group. Number 2. Shipping culture. Besides pointless things that people in the entertainment industry do, there's also a bunch of things done by obsessive K-pop fans that have multiple times gotten on the nerves of other people. According to many netizens, on the top of the list is the shipping culture, where some fans just go to extreme lengths and turn it into a sickening thing that probably the idols themselves also feel embarrassment when getting to know about it. Moreover, because most of these shippings would eventually be turned into some fanfics, fan arts, and even videos on YouTube, where imagination becomes delirium for everyone to access, many netizens also found it hard to understand, why does the majority in K-pop fandom support this? People also brought up the gender identity that some fans haphazardly place on their idols, because most of the time, they would just downright build an image where these stars were in nature homosexual, and put in a bunch of sickening scenes where they interacted with another member or another same-gender idol in the industry. Dating back to several years ago, a long article had already voiced about how idol shipping has no place in K-pop. And even until today, multiple people still believe this culture not only held no values, but also damaged the mentalities and relationships of idols. Number 3. Idol babying culture. Similar to how shipping idols is deemed as one of the most pointless cultures in K-pop, netizens also believed some fans really need to stop babying idols, since this action also served as nothing but another way to objectify the artists. Moreover, the fact that some fans kept calling their idol a baby and imposed on them the restrictions of certain things that they would never be allowed to do was ridiculous. Jungkook is a typical example where his fans constantly babied him by saying he was a baby, he shouldn't do things like sexy dancing, and saying certain words that ticked them off. These overprotective fans would probably have the balls to cancel Jungkook's girlfriend's life since, in their eyes, baby Jungkook was totally theirs and wasn't old enough to date. Besides Jungkook, Suga also has a massive amount of comments babying him online. A netizen pointed out that the most common thing they saw online was how people way younger than Suga kept calling him a cute little baby kitten who must be protected, while in reality, he was clocking into his 30s soon. Number 4. MR removed equaling an idol's vocal capabilities. Because dancing while singing has never been an easy thing to pull off, it is quite common for K-pop idols to just lip-sync on music shows, then save their vocal capabilities on other occasions, like singing competitions, radio lives, or ballad stages. However, with the strict standards often imposed on idols, many people decided to find other ways to assess their singing abilities. And just like that, the concept where MR removed videos are used as a metric to see who sings well was born. As explained by Mr. J Kpop, a producer in the music industry, MR removed was a scam and holds zero value because, technically, the vocals you hear in the MR removed videos can still be pre-recorded. And the reason they sounded different from the studio version was that the artist just recorded another version for live performances.
The music removed videos that are being posted as proof actually prove nothing.
Moreover, in terms of vocal assessment, many people also pointed out how good disability has never had the same weight as good singing techniques or capabilities. So judging an idol through a simple MR removed, which sometimes aren't processed professionally and thoroughly, was completely pointless. A user on Reddit also mentioned that since the vocals of idols in MR removed would often be compressed to the point of distortion compared to the original sound, throwing hands or giving a standing ovation to some idols on the basis of MR removed clips were quite ridiculous. Number 5. Obsessed with a fair complexion. While having a super fair skin tone is among the most crucial criteria to mark whether an idol is pretty or not, many people believe that it's time for the entertainment companies to get rid of this obsession. Start appreciating the different complexions of each idol, and altogether stop throwing on their faces the foundation of 3 to 4 shades brighter than their original skin tone. Just with a simple Google search, you can easily see how people on multiple forums have been whining about this pointless attempt to make idols better fit in the common beauty standard, and how more often than not, they would end up looking way worse than their bare face. On Reddit, there was even a darn long rant about how people have multiple times spotted idols looking super weird with a face color completely different to their neck. And especially when everyone was bathed in sweat after some hardcore choreographies, the foundation just caked up in an extremely messy and annoying way. In the thread, ATEEZ, Twice as Chewy, 17's Mingyu, and NCT's Haechan were also brought up as some typical examples, where their skin looks super gray and ashy, because the extremely light foundation failed miserably in matching with their healthy tan complexions. So, besides these pointless things that netizens pointed out, do you think any other things should be added to the list? Comment down below to share your thoughts with us. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to BeBoss TV for more interesting content. Thank you for watching.